Hey everyone, today we want to talk about how to ask for what you want. So are you ready for that? Let me introduce myself. My name is Lynn Schrader and I empower men and women to step outside of their comfort zone and begin living a life that they could have never imagined. I love to ignite a fire and a passion in people who are ready for a change and who are ready for more. So today we're going to talk about how we can ask for what we want on that journey to more. So asking for things is super important. You'll never know until you ask, right? You've probably heard that before. Your mom or a teacher or someone has told you that before. You never know until you ask. But for some reason, some of us don't. I'm a recovering not asker. Does that make sense? I love to hop on here and talk about things that I've either been there, done that, and have checked it off my list and I'm moving on. And that's what I used to do. I used to not ask for what I want. Why don't people ask for what they want? Well, it's a myriad of reasons. Sometimes we bring that from our childhood. Maybe we've been told it's better to be seen than to be heard. We bring that from our childhood. Maybe when we would speak up, we'd be shut down from an adult figure. And unfortunately, I've done videos on this, but unfortunately, we bring those stories from our past, we place them right in front of us in the now, and we live out them like they're happening now, when really we need to leave them in the past and create these new stories. So sometimes we don't ask for what we want because we've taken that "you shouldn't do that" from our past. We've also, some of us also take that "I don't want to ask for what I want" because we equate rejection with being a loser or unworthy or something very negative. When in reality, it's a part of life to be rejected. Sometimes we are just so afraid of no because we have very thin skin. You've heard that saying, you need to have thick skin. Let things bounce off you. Sometimes I say you have to be a Teflon skin. Things bounce off you like a Teflon pan. Sometimes we're just afraid of no because we are not thick-skinned, we're thin-skinned. And then, unfortunately, and this might have been where I came in, sometimes we feel unworthy to even ask for what we want. You know, my opinion really doesn't matter. I just did a video on that, so please go back to my blog and check that out. You know, I just don't feel worthy enough to ask. My opinion doesn't matter. I don't want to make waves. I'd rather be a doormat. So there's all kinds of reasons why some of us don't ask for what we want, but we should not do that. No's are part of the journey. It's part of the journey we call life. Now, you can look at this, how to ask for what you want, in two different realms. It can be very generic in life because we're always going to be rejected in different seasons. It's a fact of life. And you can also look at it from a business aspect. Now, in my business, I have coaching clients and I'm a leader of a very large team of network marketers. And we have to get used to being rejected. I talk to my coaching clients often about this rejection, this fear of rejection. And at the same time, I'm talking to this large team and telling them that rejection is just part of the journey. Don't consider it rejection. Consider it something greater is to come. I want to give you some examples of some famous people that have been rejected. Sometimes when I am feeling bad about a situation that's occurring in my life, it's always therapeutic when somebody will mention that they go through that as well. It's so good to know that you're not alone in some of your thoughts and feelings. So check out these famous people that I know you've heard of that have been rejected. And you may be surprised at some of these. Did you know that Walt Disney was let go at a newspaper because he was told he lacked imagination. Can you imagine? He worked at a newspaper and he was released from that job because the editor said he just didn't have enough imagination. Wow, that's a rejection. Did he let that stop him? Absolutely not. Disney World, Disneyland, all of the Mickey Mouse things that you see out there. Thank you, Walt Disney. J.K. Rowling was actually fired from a job because she was spending too much time on the computer writing stories. She was rejected. She said, sorry, you're fired. You can't work here anymore. That had to hurt. But she continued on, and look what she did. She's one of the most famous present-day authors out there. Madonna, love this one. Madonna actually worked at Dunkin' Donuts for a day, and then she was let go because, get this sounds like something I would do. She accidentally squeezed jelly from a jelly donut onto a customer. And she was told, you're never gonna, this is not a job for you, you're not cut out for this, we're letting you go. Wow. How'd you like to talk to your friends about you were employed at Dunkin' Donuts for a day and then you were let go? Ouch, that had to hurt. But look what she did. She came back, and we love Madonna. Colonel Sanders, KFC chicken. Did you know that his secret recipe was rejected 1,009 times? Wow. What if he had stopped presenting his secret recipe to all of these places out there? What if he had stopped after the first time, the first 10, the first 20? We would not have KFC. And you know what? There would not be over 5,000 in the U.S. 5,200 to be exact, KFCs in the U.S. Over 15,000 in the world. All because Colonel Sanders didn't let one little rejection stop him. And then this is my favorite, not my favorite, but I just think this is so impressive. Stephen King. Now, Stephen King is one of my son's, really his favorite author, but the book Carrie, that movie scared the bejesus out of me. Ugh, hate it still. But anyway, that was his first book, Carrie. It was rejected 33 times. What if Stephen King would have taken that very first rejection and said, you're right, I'm not cut out to be an author. I'll do something else. We would not have Stephen King, Mr. Mercedes, all those other books that he's written. I should know them, but I don't. Anyway, I love those stories. It makes me feel normal. Are you feeling normal hearing all those other rejections? And I'll tell you what, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other stories. Oprah, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Edison. Google it. There's tons of rejection stories out there. So the world says no, but you and I need to say next. That's what I tell my team. When you hear a no, you say next. There's lots of no's that are on the path to your yes. To your yes. I love to train my team on the SWs. Easy to remember. SW, SW, SW. 3 SWs. Some will, some won't, someone's waiting. Some will, some won't, someone's waiting. Someone's waiting. Now again, if we want to bring this back to life, this is you asking for what you want when someone says, hey, what restaurant do you want to go to eat at? Instead of saying, I don't care, speak up. Speak up. Voice your opinion. If you are after that raise, you know you deserve that raise, speak up. Heard a great story about a woman who was sort of the minority in the office of these younger men. She was a little bit older woman, and she was working with younger men, and she felt this stress of trying to keep up and showing what she was made of. And she decided that she was going to step into her greatness. So the next meeting that they had, and the boss was there, and the boss was telling them what he expected or whatever, and everybody's just sitting there, and she decided to speak up and say to him, if we make, and she laid out a figure of sales by such and such date, what will you do for us? She sort of threw out the gauntlet and challenged the boss. If we do this, what will you do? And he said, if you as a team make this amount in sales, I will take all of you. And he named off an island. And that's exactly what happened. The team got together. They knew, because she had spoken up and asked for what she wanted. They knew what he specifically wanted. They worked toward it, and they all went on vacation. How cool is that? How cool is that? So it can go from anything when people ask you, where do you want to go to dinner, to do you think you should get a raise? You need to ask for what you want. You need to ask for what you want. Now, I came up with just 7 simple things to do in order to start asking for what you want. Now, these are so simple, you're gonna think, okay, that's a no-brainer. But sometimes we just need to be reminded. Number one, be clear. Be clear on your request and make them reasonable. Make sure when you are asking for something, it's reasonable. You're asking for a raise, you're not going to ask for an exorbitant amount of that really is completely unreasonable. Be clear. I would like this. If your significant other and you feel like you need to go to counseling or something, instead of saying all of these things and these touchy-feely things, be clear on what you want and make it reasonable. Number two, don't verbal vomit on people. I say this to my team all the time. That means don't pile on the reasons. Don't verbal vomit on somebody. Just be very clear about what you want. If you want that sale, if you want to talk to somebody about your company and what it will do for that person, you want to be very clear, but you don't want to pile on all the reasons and verbal vomit on the people. You just want to be very clear and to the point. Number three, know your worth. Know your worth. You are destined for greatness. You are more than a conqueror. There is no one in this world that is better than you. It's an even playing field. You should not compare. You should not look to the right or to the left, but you should look straight ahead, knowing that there is no one that is better than you. So know your worth and speak up. Speak up. This is what I'd like to do because I'm worthy. Number 4, if you are really concerned about asking for what you want and you're anxious about it and you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to be reasonable in your request, and you don't know whether or not you're going to pile on the information in verbal vomit, and you're not so sure that if you really feel worthy, then make notes. Make notes to yourself. This is what I want. This is very clear on what I want. I want this because, make notes. Number five, know the person that you're speaking to. That's a great, I actually did a video on that too, on how to communicate with people. But know your audience. Know your audience, study your audience. What are their expectations? What's their personality like? What's their behavior like? What time of day should you ask them? That kind of thing. So know your audience. And then number six, this is, I love this one. This is my, totally embrace this, but be authentic, be kind, be honest, and be your authentic self. The minute we try being someone else, it gets uncomfortable. And people can spot a phony. They know a phony a mile away. Be yourself. Again, you are made for greatness, destined for greatness. You've got a personality that's all your own. Sure, we can refine ourselves, but be who you really are. And then number seven, don't pout. Move on. Some will, some won't. Next. There's a lot of no's before we get to a yes. It's just the way it is. So sometimes all you need to do is to step outside of your comfort zone and ask. You've heard the 5-second rule. I've talked about it in videos. Count down from 5 and do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ask. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the 5-second rule. So your homework, you've heard what I have to say. Make a list of 3 things that you can ask for to achieve a major goal or maybe a minor goal. And then commit to a time when you're going to ask for them. It's all about that word commitment. Maybe your goal, your major goal is to promote to a certain level in your organization. To get there, you're going to have to ask for what you want. You're going to have those uncomfortable conversations with people who are on your chicken list. People I can't talk to them. Yes, you can. Maybe you want a raise. Then you're going to have to make a list of what you can ask for to get that raise. Maybe you want to be that person that's just not one of those that says, I don't care, whatever. You're going to start speaking your mind. So make a list of those things that in the past you have often said, I don't care. Hey, where do you want to meet for happy hour? I don't care. Hey, what do you want to do this weekend? I don't care. Yes, you do care. You have opinions. You have likes and dislikes. Then speak them. So make a list of them. So if you want that raise, if you want that sale, if you've got to make that phone call, if you've got to make that face-to-face appointment, if you have to have that uncomfortable conversation, then go ahead and make a list of those and then commit to working on that goal. I hope you got some value out of this video, how to ask for what you want. I'd love some feedback. So if you've got some comments, drop them in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and drop my website where I have many more blogs that are sort of like this. I also have a YouTube channel. So if you get over there, I'd love for you to ring the little bell and be notified of all my videos that are out there. Thanks so much for watching, and listen. I love to pay things forward. These things that I'm telling you today are things that have been spoken into my life, so pay it forward as well. Go ahead and share this video or tag a friend and let them know. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you.